We're in Auckland for round 7 of the 2012 FIA World Rally Championship. Welcome to all the action from day 3 of the Brother Rally New Zealand. Once again, the incredible roads of Rally New Zealand have thrown up a feast of spectacular action as the best drivers in the world fight for supremacy on the flowing cambered roads. Deep in the New Zealand midwinter, the damp and at times muddy roads have provided testing conditions for this year's running of the event, with a number of drivers being caught out by the treacherous stages. Bad weather has also resulted in a variety of tactics, both with road order and tyres. Jari-Matti Latvala won qualifying and opted to run last on the road. It started well with the Finn leading after stage 1, but his challenge faded as the conditions worsened and his opening day ended with yet another frustrating off-road excursion. The Ford man finishing day 1 in 9th. Peter Solberg, meanwhile, got his road position right, but tyre tactics all wrong, opting to run on hard compound Michelins on the damp roads. The former New Zealand winner was left recovering from the minute and a half he lost in the opening loop. Mikko Hirvonen took the early initiative after Latvala's pace dropped away. The flying Finn led for most of day 1 in one of his best performances to date in Citroën colours. But it still wasn't enough. His all-conquering teammate eventually reeled him in, and it was Sebastian Loeb who held a narrow lead at the end of day 1. Day 2 thankfully dawned to drier conditions, but there was still some damp patches around. And Evgeny Novikov, well, he'd started the day in a fine 3rd place, but the Russian youngster soon lost position to a fired-up Peter Solberg.
Of course we can go a bit faster, because we are driving now for 90-95%, but if we will go for 100, we will take a lot of risk. We don't want to do this, don't want to do mistakes, so we won't fight with Peter, that's for sure.
Well, like Tanak, he'd been uncharacteristically reserved on one of his most impressive outings of the season, but the Estonian began to build an attack on his teammate's position. His charge was stopped short by a spin in a muddy section late in the day. At least Tanak was still competing. PWRC competitor Ramona Carlson was clearly going nowhere after her car caught fire following an off. Thankfully, both driver and co-driver had already made it to safety before this inferno engulfed their Mitsubishi. And at the front, meanwhile, Hirvonen had been fighting to catch his teammate all day, but for the most part, Loeb had an answer to everything he tried.
I don't think it's going to be, quite enough, but I tried.
Well, it was the world champion then who had the edge at the end of the 2nd day. Still no sign of team orders as yet, and still incredibly close between the two Citroën drivers.
I think it would be stupid from the manager to let fight until the end. In our situation now, we fight it until the end of the second day, and we are still here, so that's quite good. So we need to finish now.
Well, this is how things stand then. Heading into the final day, Loeb's advantage over Hervenen standing at 6.4 seconds, with Solberg still a very distant third. Tanak is only 21 seconds behind Novikov, so could still make a late bid for fourth position. And the third day of action features stages much closer to Auckland on roads not used since the 1990s, as well as the end of Rally Power Stage, where bonus points are on offer for the top 3 finishers. Well, it's into the first stage of the morning, stage 16. That's the Burnside stage, just a short one. And who's first up this morning, Julian?
Well, first we're going to see is Thierry Neuville in the Qatar World Rally Team. Obviously, NASA not here. He's getting ready for the Olympics. But I tell you what, the car's been trusted to Thierry, and he's done a fantastic job this weekend.
He really has, and you can see a change in the conditions yet again this morning, Julian. Some low cloud on the hills there. Pretty heavy rain around the windscreen wipers going, making things very testing out there in the morning.
Well, that's it. And what we've got to remember is on Friday morning, when it wasn't raining, it was just wet, they all, Friday morning and afternoon, they all used their soft tyres. So it's a bit of a difficult one for them, really. And what do? You come up with the hard tyres. They're not going to get too much heat in them in such a short stage.
Well, we actually saw quite a combination of tyre choices out there this morning. We saw hard, soft, used softs, partly used hards. It was incredible just looking at the different tyre choices. But the man who made the most of these conditions was the man we're watching right now, Thierry Neuville. He was impressive through these first 2 stages of the morning.
He was, and he took the crossover tyre as well. We've seen them do it in the past, and basically he puts a soft on one side on the front, a hard on the other, and then diagonally swaps them for the rear. And it looks a bit bizarre. You would think it wouldn't work, but they seem to like the feeling it gives them.
Certainly worked for Neuville, taking the stage win in stage 16 and 17.
Gauche 10, sur droite 5, ferme 10, pour sommet gauche 5, très long, ferme 10, moins, ferme 10, moins, pour droite 15, bref, pour droite 5, 30, vraiment très dur, ferme léger, 30, ferme 10, long, j'attends sortir, jusque sommet jette, sur gauche 5, moins long, sur gauche 5, moins long, 50 mètres, en frein 10, fort gauche 10, ferme très gauche 35.
Get it, Julian, get him before me, get it.
Thierry midday service on Sunday, but 3 stages this morning. You've won 2 of them. That's a great run.
Yeah, a great one. We tried to push a little bit more because I know compared to Tanak we had 2 soft tires, so I tried to use the advantage, and finally we took some time back, but honestly not enough.
Obviously, first time here in New Zealand. Everyone loves these stages. You've really got into this really quickly.
Yeah, okay, when we see the first day we were a little bit lost, and we had some trouble, but yesterday and today started quite well as well, so let's continue like this. But okay, I think if we finish 5th or 6th, it will change a lot, so just try to stay on the road.
Trying to win some more stages this afternoon?
It's not really the aim. The aim is to finish the rally now.
Well, Thierry Neuville, Julian, he's making tremendous progress in his debut season in the WRC. This is the man that everyone sets their benchmark against, Sebastian Loeb. What can he do today out there, Julian? He really just has to be a little bit careful. No battling between the 2 Citroën drivers. Team orders have been put in place this morning. They're being told to hold position. That is a sensible thing to do.
It is a sensible thing to do. We wondered when it was going to come. It actually came on the road section out of the final stage on the Saturday night, the second day. Both cars got a phone call saying hold positions, and that was that. But I tell you what, they didn't really want the rain this morning because it's so tricky. Loeb, though, again, like Neuville, doing the crossover on his tyres, taking a couple of softs, taking a couple of hards, and mixing them around on the car.
Tell you what was different as well this morning, Julian, the road surface. You can have a look there. Okay, there's some gravel that we can see from this onboard, but really these stages very different from the stages we've seen on day 1 and day 2 of the rally. Almost in places like concrete, like tarmac.
Well, that was it. I mean, it is just starting to cut it. It's amazing what 300 brake horsepower on a World Rally car will do. But there's very little gravel in and around there, and a lot of this mud is through basically cutting.
Petter Solberg up now, Julian. Petter Solberg Well, his rally was run more or less on his way to the very first stage on the very first morning. But Solberg with a job to do today. He really does have to make sure that he doesn't make any silly mistakes. Okay, in Greece on the final day, he was pushing for the win and we saw him making a mistake. But it's been very calm, really, since that first morning.
The mistake and the time was lost then. If you kind of look at it, what he was behind when he got to that first service in Raglan that morning, he's really no further back now, which kind of proves the pace is there. It was just an error in judgment on the tyres, and it's cost him. He's on the podium at the moment, which is still, I think we were thinking at that point on Friday, it wasn't going to happen, but he is there at the moment.
Keep in 46 right plus, long, tight a little, opens extra long, keep it into 6 left, half long, tight a little, half long, 40,
Chris Patterson obviously calling the notes there alongside Peter Solberg. He's got a lovely voice, obviously Peter really well tuned into Chris Patterson. Now what is it, Jules, 2 years, 2 years they've been together now?
Yeah, obviously when he was in his C4.
So there we are, after stage 17, Sebastian Loeb, his lead over Mikko Hirvonen, 15.8 seconds. Peter Solberg behind in third. The interesting battle is the battle between Ott Tanak and Thierry Neuville. They really are very, very close indeed. So join us then for the last 4 stages of Rally New Zealand after the break. Welcome back then to the final 4 stages of the 2012 Brother Rally New Zealand. Stage 18, it's the town centre stage, Julian. It's the domain stage. Great opportunity this for the spectators to get really close to the rally stars.
Well, that's it. And a couple of years ago, this was the shakedown stage with a little bit of water on there. That's the kind of thing that can happen. It's really, really slippy. Tarmac, gravel tyres, and the guys were in and around there. This was actually shakedown a couple of years ago when we were last here.
So we're on the line then, and Julian, I can't tell you who that is, but the graphic does. That's Danny Sordo and Carlos Delgado. Sordo, bit of a tarmac specialist. Difficult rally so far for him. Looking to take the stage win here. He probably was the favourite for the stage win, and he did take the stage win. Sordo on tarmac is supreme.
He is. Obviously, remember, we are on gravel tyres. The first running was the stage that they did just before going into service, so the tyres were quite worn. Then they went to service, then they came out and did it again. And the second time was a little bit drier, but you know what? Sordo still won.
As you would expect. Sordo's had a difficult weekend, I'd have to say. We expected more from him, but great to see him winning the 2 stages around the Auckland domain, and really good to see so many Aucklanders out there enjoying the spectacle this morning.
And in the PWRC, Colin, we've got Louise Cook from Britain. Louise, we're down in New Zealand, Sky City behind us. 3rd rally for you in PWRC, but this one's been a bit challenging, even before it started. I read a story about you having to sell your trophies. I mean, what was all that about?
Yeah, it's a bit of a sad thing to do, but, you know, I didn't have much else left to sell. So, I mean, they're not worth a lot, but it was all I had left, so... You know, at the end of the day, there's only one trophy that matters to me, and Sebastian Loeb has that at the moment. So, yeah, it was sad, but, you know, I was desperate. Had to try and find this money, so...
Well, what it did do is it generated a huge amount of publicity in the UK, and I think a lot of the local backers, local companies have got behind you, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. The support, to be honest, was pretty overwhelming. All the local companies came together and helped me out, and some other companies within the UK, and then when I got to New Zealand there was a lot of support here, so we were a bit short, but once we got here there was support in New Zealand, so we managed to get the whole thing together and make it work. So it was massive thank you to everyone.
That's it. People kind of say, you hear it, that sponsorship's hard regardless of who you are, but maybe females get it easier. Well, you've proved that that's not the case.
No, it's hard, and to be honest, with everything that's going on in the UK at the moment and in well, the rest of the world too, it's hard as well. Sponsorship's hard anyway, but that makes it harder, you know, people not being able to afford things, and even my £50 supporters have not been able to afford it this year, so, you know, it's a real well, it shows you how everything's going at the moment. So yeah, no, it is difficult, and I do it every single day as well. Like, this is my full-time job, trying to find sponsorship. So yeah, it's hard.
So you'll get home from here jet lagged, and then you start trying to find the budget for Germany.
Yeah, definitely, straight away. I've got Goodwood Festival speed the day we get back, and then yeah, once I get home from that, I'll be flat out on the phone again.
Well, Louise did finish the rally 29th overall, 6th in the WRC, and she now lies 5th in the championship.
Great effort indeed from Louise Cook. But we move straight on. Stage 20, Puhoi stage, and stage 21, the Aharoa stage. And Oit Tanak, Julian, in a real battle, being pushed hard by
Thierry Neuville.
Absolutely. You can see how wide he was there. He really is pushing very hard.
He's got to. Neuville is on the march. He really is. He's taken 2 stage wins so far, and he's taking time out of him. This man is under pressure.
He's had a good weekend though. He's been very, very quick this weekend, and he hasn't made too many mistakes up until now. That's a big one.
That ain't coming back, is it?
It's really not.
I don't actually think he's rolled. He's just gone down the side of those trees.
Look of shock on his face there, Julian.
He was quick in today. Yeah, he's just rattled down the side, but that is not coming back on. I think the rear wheel's actually not in where it's meant to be.
You know, it's one of those things, isn't it? He is a young man. We know he's quick. He needs to learn from these mistakes.
And this man has been a picture of just confidence and calm this weekend.
And it was those first 3 stages in the morning, really, that put the pressure on Tanak, that caused Tanak, I think, to overdrive that car.
That's it. And what we've got to remember as well is Neuville was ahead of Tanak on the road, so he doesn't know that Tanak's run off, and he set another stage-winning time.
Yeah, great day from Thierry Neuville, showing his class, showing his potential, showing that Citroën were right with the confidence they had in him.
That's it. The man in 3rd place currently at the moment is Petter Solberg. Beautifully drifting it through there, Colin. I mean, the stage is a lot drier this afternoon.
Well, we're only 2 or 3 hours after the first stage of the morning. You can see how quickly the conditions change here in New Zealand. And Petter Solberg coping with the conditions very well. And as you said earlier, Julian, you take out the problems he had on the first day, and he's been right there in terms of his pace. But a frustrating weekend for sure for Petter Solberg.
This man here, he's had an absolutely brilliant weekend. The speed that was missing in Greece was back, but probably a frustrating weekend as well with that phone call last night.
A little frustrating, but he battled so well yesterday, didn't he? He lost a bit of time, then he got it all back. He was right back in the fight, and Mikko Hirvonen needed a confidence booster ahead of Rally Finland, because that's his best chance of a win this year, and I think this rally has given him that.
Oikein täyssä 30. Pitkä oikein nopea aja. Kira vähän. Huomio 6. Oikein
mistakes they put this weekend, Mikko Hirvonen. Absolutely precise. He's had to be battling with Sebastian Loeb.
The drivers love the stages though, Colin. They've got these cambers there that they kind of like, just when you get it right, it just pushes you on and on and on, and it basically can give you more confidence.
The car dances across the stage. It's like ballet. It's like high-speed ballet at times, Julian.
That's it, and this man's probably the best at it.
He's a good gymnast, a good ballet dancer as well, perhaps, in that DS3. Sebastian Loeb, what can we say about the man? He responded so well to the challenge from Hirvonen yesterday.
Yeah, he loves a fight. I mean, yes, there's team orders now, but this guy, he wouldn't have minded if he hadn't got the team orders last night. He would have given it another go today.
Yeah, and who's to say the result wouldn't have been exactly the same? I think it probably would have been.
Well, that's it. This man does like fighting. Contrary to what people think, that he keeps getting these orders in his favour. They made the decision. It was day 2, and he was out front.
But he's the ultimate team, not team player, but company man, if you like. The manufacturer man. He thinks about Citroën. Citroën is his #1 priority, and he knows that team orders are the right way to protect Citroën's 1-2 potentially.
That's it. He's just so good. It's great to see. This team is massively strong with Loeb and Hirvonen, and that was why Hirvonen was signed, because he's such a good driver at finishing.
It's been a phenomenal year so far, and Citroën very much making their way this morning towards their 3rd 1-2 in a row. Obviously, little way to go so far. Well, a little way to go in the rally, Julian, but it is looking very, very good indeed for Citroën.
You'd want to be where they are, not where anyone else is.
So here we go, it's on to stage 22. This is the final stage of the rally, the power stage as well. Julian, 3 extra points on offer for the fastest through here. And who have we got there? Is that
Jari
Solberg?
Matti.
Jari Matti, he was quickest through, and that kind of redeems his weekend a little bit.
Yeah, and not taking anything away from Jari Matti. He, the sun is out there, but when the others were coming through, it did start to rain, so he was in a fortunate position to actually benefit from an earlier running position.
But we talked about the confidence boost that Hirvonen needed this weekend. Latvala very much needed a confidence boost today, and perhaps this win on the power stage could be that confidence boost he needs ahead of Rally Finland.
He needs something. He needs something, and as you say, he kind of got himself... I never really thought all weekend he was fully in sync with everything now.
Well, he got absolutely in sync with it through the power stage. Quickest through, 3 points for Latvala.
I'm quite alright. What I'm happy is that I managed to win the power stage, so I got 3 extra points from there. So what I'm happy is that I know now that I started to get the speed and the confidence with the car. I was struggling on Friday in this rally. Then when we had a spin, we realized that we can do some testing, and the testing what we have done has now brought some good ideas for the Finland, so that makes me happy, even though the result is not what I wanted.
Well, Sebastian Loeb might not have won the power stage, but he won the rally, and as a bonus, picking up 1 point, third quickest through the power stage. Sebastian Loeb wins the rally duels, 72nd win, but there's confirmation of the power stage points. 3 points to Latvala, 2 to Solberg, and that extra bonus point goes to Sebastian Loeb. So at the end then of the Brother Rally New Zealand, our final standing, Sebastian Loeb wins from his teammate Mikko Hirvonen. That's the third 1-2 in a row for the Citroën Total team. Solberg was third.
2012 Brother Rally New Zealand, yet another victory with imperious breaks with Sebastian Loeb.
Cut away. Sebastian, it's the end of another rally 10 in New Zealand, and it's another win for you. This one was quite difficult.
Yeah, for sure, it's a great victory. It was a long weekend with some very difficult conditions. Big fight with Mikko all the weekend, so it was not easy. We are here now at the end of the rally. That was very important too. A few mistakes in the power stage, pushing a bit too hard, and went wide 2 or 3 times. So we took 1 point, but the most important is to be here.
The 72nd time he stood on the top step of the podium, Julian, but Sebastian Loeb enjoying this moment, I think, just as much as he enjoys it every time.
He has a passion like nobody else to win. He really does.
Sebastian Loeb leads the drivers' standings from Mikko Hirvonen. It is a massive 38-point lead he has now. Peter Solberg down in third place. And in the manufacturer's standings, Citroën Total on 237 points. Ford way behind on 144 points. That was the Brother Rally New Zealand 2012. What an event we had here in New Zealand. New Zealand never fails to deliver the goods, but we head on from here to Finland. Finland, the fast-flowing jumping stages. Tighten your belts, we're flying to Finland in 5 weeks' time.